Hi everybody, my name is Dr. Betty Dulambanawa. I'd like to welcome you all to my class this summer. Today, I'm going to give you a course tour to help you navigate this class. To start, you access your class by logging in to Web Advisor and go to Blackboard. Then you should be able to see all the courses you're enrolled in summer, and then just select the appropriate math course. Now, once you click on the class, it will first take you to the announcement page. Make sure to read all the announcements posted here. Also take note, these announcements are also emailed to your my.tccd.edu email address. Next, pay attention to the different menu items here found on the left side of the screen. First, let's take a look at the course syllabus for this class. So when you click on this link here or this tab here, it will direct you to the ICR for this class. It is very important that you set aside time to go over and look at the ICR or syllabus for this class, as it pertains all the important details and information for this class. The policies and the course requirements are all can be found in the syllabus. But today I'm also going to give you a quick overview on what you will find on the syllabus. So on this page here, you will see my office hours. I am available from 10:30 a.m. to 12 noon, Mondays through Thursdays if you need to consult with me. Now I'm going to give you the details on how you will contact me or how you can set up an appointment with me if you need a one-on-one attention. Also, if you need to consult me outside of my office hours, feel free to email me and we will try to work it out. Second, let's talk about textbook. For the textbook of this class, we will use Thinking Mathematically 7th edition by Blitzer from Pearson. Now, take note that this course is a MyTCC Plus course. That means that the online version for this book or the ebook is already included in your registration. And also the digital course materials like My Math Lab Access is already included in the registration. So there is no need for you to purchase a code or even use a trial period to use My Math Lab. Now the homework and the quizzes and the tests are all done in My Math Lab. That's why that is required for this course. And you will gain access to My Math Lab as soon as the first day of this class. There's no need to register. You will be automatically added to my My Math Lab course, and there's no need to do anything, buy an access code, or set up a registration to My Math Lab. Now, it's just also very important to take note that for students who have purchased previous access directly from My Math Lab, like if you have a multiple term access codes, you should opt out of TCC Plus to avoid duplication of purchase. You can just use that multiple term access code that you have and opt out from this TCC Plus and get a refund for the portion of your tuition that was used to pay for this TCC Plus. And you have to do that before the census date. Otherwise, no refunds will be issued. Next is the class overview. This class is done asynchronously. That means that all lectures are pre-recorded. The lecture videos and other supplementary resources are uploaded in your course shell in Blackboard, and you can view them anytime whenever it's convenient. Though you can study the materials at any time in your convenience, it is still very important that you pace yourself accordingly. Make sure to access lesson materials on a daily basis and submit all assignments that are required for you on time. More information about this will be given later on. Just take note that this is a summer course, and typically the course materials that you have to learn within 16 weeks are just packed into 5 weeks. So therefore, it is important that you allot a significant time of the day to learn the materials. Next, let's talk about the class requirements. First is the class attendance. Attendance will be checked daily. Your attendance will be based on your quizzes and homework since this course is done asynchronously. You will be marked present if and only when you submit your assignments on time. If you submit them late or if you don't submit them, then you will be marked absent. Attendance policy will be strictly implemented. That means that if you miss a cumulative of 15% of the class meetings and if you're not keeping up with the course assignments, you may be dropped from this course. The 15% of the class meetings for a summer class is just 3 class meetings. Next is correspondence. You are encouraged to send me email for any questions, and just take note that emails sent within office hours will be answered immediately as much as possible. Otherwise, allow me to respond within 24 hours. Homework. All homework are done in my math lab. All homework may be accessed within Blackboard, and I'll show you the details on where you would find the homework inside Blackboard later. Just take note that all homework are unlimited attempts. That means you can rework them until you get all items or all numbers in the homework correctly. So you should be able to get 100% on all your assignments as long as you do this before the due date. Because all late homework will be penalized by 10%. A 10% penalty will be applied to all items done after the due date. So if you have just started the homework and you have not finished it, only those items that are started after the due date will receive a penalty. You can also improve your scores even after the due date, but just make sure to rework your wrong answers, as the 10% penalty will be applied to all those problems worked after the due date. So if you decide to redo homework that are already correct, or those items that are already correct, a 10% penalty will also apply to those numbers. So just be careful not to touch those numbers that are already correct if you want to rework on wrong items after the due date. Quizzes. There is a short quiz at the end of each section. So after you do your homework, then you have to do a short quiz. Your homework should help you or prepare you to answer the quiz. Now the quiz will measure understanding of the lesson, and this is also a good practice for the unit test. You only have 2 attempts for quizzes, and also the same rules that apply to homework also applies to quizzes. That means that if you do the quiz after the due date, you will be given a 10% penalty. And if once you've started a quiz, you are expected to finish it in one sitting. That means that if you don't finish it and you submitted it, then you have forfeited the attempt for that quiz. And since you only have 2 attempts for quizzes, it is important that you practice first by doing your homework before you try or you attempt to take the quiz. Practice test. A practice test will be given prior to a long test. I encourage you to do the practice test several times before you take the actual long test. And also, The average of all the practice tests may be used to replace a lowest test score at the end of the semester. And you have unlimited attempts for the practice test, and only the best score counts. So you don't need to worry if you score lower on your next attempt, because the MyMathLab will only retain your best score for the practice test. Long exams or long tests. All exams or long tests will be taken online and proctored through Proctorio. So these are all proctored. I'll give you details on how you will set up Proctorio to proctor your long exams later on. Take note that no makeup test will be given. However, you can still take the test after the testing date, but subject to a 5% daily penalty. That means that if you take the long test a day after the due date, your highest score will only be 95%. If you take it 2 days after the due date, you will be given a 10% penalty, so your highest score can only be 90%, and so on until you will just be given a 0 for that long test. Now, for any reasons you're unable to take the test, you can just use either your final exam or the average of the practice test to replace a low test score at the end of the semester. Final exam or the final test. The final exam will be given on the last day of this course, and it will be a comprehensive exam. It will cover everything that was covered in class from day 1 until the end of the semester. Now, the final exam grade may be used to replace a low test score. Any homework, quizzes, or long tests that are not submitted by the end of the semester will be graded 0. Remember that you can still submit homework even after a due date, subject to a 10% penalty. So you should still be able to submit any past due assignment. But if you chose not to submit or not to work them until the end of the semester, the summer term, you will be given a 0 for that homework, quiz, or long test. Grading criteria. This is how your grades will be computed. 25% will come from the average of the homeworks. 15% will come from the average of the quizzes and the practice test. 60% will come from the average of long tests and the final exam. The following scheme here will be used for the letter grades. Take note that these are already adjusted. That means I'm going to round up. So if your score falls below the minimum here, I will not reconsider it and bump your grade up. So if you score below the minimum, you will just stay on that level or on that interval. Class dates. Here are important dates that you should take note of. On June 7th, that is the census date. That is the last day to drop from the course without leaving any record. And June 23rd is the last day of dropping. This is the last day to drop from the class for you to get a W instead of an F. And the last day of the class is on July 1st, 2021. All other important dates like due dates for homework, quizzes, and long tests may be found in the course calendar. I'll show it to you later on how you would get into that file. And these are also the coverage for Unit 1, that is for Long Test 1, Long Test 2, and Long Test 3. And here are also some information that might be useful to you. So just read through this one. You can find the information here on how you can join the Math Resource Center. And these are their office hours. And I'm going to also give you the link on where you could find this one inside the Blackboard later. Now let's direct our attention to this folder here, the Proctorio Folder. The Proctorio Folder will contain the information on how you will set up Proctorio for your exams. So I encourage you to set up Proctorio as soon as possible. This also contains the exam rules and guidelines. The exam rules and guidelines should be strictly followed for you to avoid getting a 0 on a test. And this also contains the Blackboard test instructions if ever you don't see it during when you open the test or on an exam. And this would also help you troubleshoot any Proctorio problems. And this is also the link or the instructions on how you would contact Proctorio technical support by starting a live chat. Next is the course calendar. When you click on the course calendar, you can find here a downloadable PDF for the course calendar that you can save in your computer for your reference. Now, the calendar would also tell you when a particular assignment will be assigned and the due date. For instance, you will be assigned section 2.1 homework and quiz on June 1st, and you're also expected to do the My Math Lab orientation homework on June 1st, and the due date will be on June 2. So this would also help you pace yourself accordingly. So for the assigned date, that is actually the time that you are expected to learn the materials. So on June 1st, you're expected to learn section 2.1. On June 2nd, you are expected to learn sections 2.2 and 2.3, and so on. Next is the course materials. The course materials will contain a link to your ebook. When you click on the course materials, it will take you directly to your ebook. You just have to click on Read Now if you want to access your ebook, and Launch Courseware if you want to access your homework. But I'm going to also show you a different way of accessing your homework. So another way also to access your homework is through this folder here, the By Lab and Mastering Assignments. If you click on this one, your homework that is assigned to you will just appear here. So you will see the assignments as it is assigned to you. Next, let's pay attention to this folder, the Lessons folder. This should be your best friend. Always visit the Lessons folder daily. You will see the folders for the sections assigned to you on a daily basis. You would see, for instance, you would look at your course calendar here. On June 1st, you are expected to learn section 2.1. So then when you visit the Lessons folder, you would see the lesson for section 2.1. Now on June 2nd, since on June 2nd, you will be expected to learn sections 2.2 and 2.3, then the lessons for sections 2.2 and 2.3 will just appear here. So visit your Lessons folder daily to learn the materials. So when you click on the Lessons folder, this is what you will see. You will see the objective for that day's lesson and the instructions on what to do. The link for your ebook is also given inside the Lessons folder. And if you want to look at the PowerPoint, you can also download the PowerPoint for the lesson. But if you just want to watch the lecture I have pre-recorded lectures for each section. So you just watch these videos here, and once you've watched the lecture videos, so the first 3 are the lecture videos, the lecture videos would vary from section to section, but for this section, the lesson or the lecture is divided into 3 parts. And then you also have this downloadable practice questions with video solution. So if you click on this PDF file, you can download this PDF file. You will see some exercises, selected exercises with solutions. Now, if you wonder how to arrive at these answers here, or the discussion on how to arrive at these answers can also be found here. So this video here is the video for the solution, the video solution for exercises 2.1. And some other videos as additional resource is also provided inside this lesson folder. You are welcome to watch these videos. Now, after watching all these videos and after doing or trying to follow these exercises, you still have some questions and you need an immediate response. You can just connect to the Math Resource Center. So you can click on this link here and that would automatically direct you to the Math Resource Center. If it's your first time to click on this link, a plus button will appear here. That means you have to enroll. So you just have to click on that plus button. I'm already enrolled to the Math Resource Center. That's why I couldn't see that find plus button here. So all you need to do is click on that plus button and then you would then see this. Then you'll just have to click on this link here so that it will direct you to the Math Resource Center and you can ask them any questions that you have. If you need help on your homework or if you want to clarify on some concepts, feel free to visit the Math Resource Center. And of course, you can just email me if you can wait for the answer. Now, these are other links that are also very important. This is where you find your grades. This is the link where you can find the link to evaluate this course at the end of the semester. And this link here is the link you'll click if you want to schedule an appointment with me during office hours. So if you click on this link here, it will take you to my Google Calendar. And then you just have to sign up. So I will just have to use you just have to use your TCC email account. And then you will be directed to your to my calendar. And then you just have to pick on open time slots. So these are a 30-minute consultation. So you have to select on the date that would work best for you. So you can just select on which day that works best for you. Suppose, for instance, you want to consult with me on June 3rd. Then you just have to click here and you just provide a description. So you have to provide a description here, provide me your class number and the reason for the meeting. It's important for me that you put some details here because I am also teaching other classes. So to better assist you, you have to give me your class number and also a reason for the meeting so I can be ready to help you during that time. So when you click save, if you click save, this would automatically generate an invite. And that invite will contain a link for the meeting. So it would send you an email confirmation of the appointment, and that will also contain a link for the meeting on that scheduled date. Now you have my email address, but if for some reasons you want to email me, if you can't find my email address, just click on this link here and you can just compose a message and you email me whatever questions you may have. And this is also another access or link to the Math Resource Center. If you just log on to this Blackboard and you want to go directly to the Math Resource Center, you click here and that would take you to the Math Resource Center. And this is the tech support. If you're having any technical difficulty during the week, you click on this tech support. This contains the number for tech support, and just call them. They're open 24/7. So that concludes the course tour. Email me if you have any questions. Again, don't hesitate to connect with me if you need any help. I hope you will enjoy my course and you will learn a lot this summer.